Science is more than just experiments. We often think of science as just about experiments and observations. But there's more to it than that. Scientists rely on some basic beliefs, what we call presuppositions, that they don't always question. For example, we assume that the laws of nature always work the same way. This is a big assumption. It allows scientists to repeat experiments and expect the same results. Every scientific theory is based on a presupposition of the uniformity of nature, said the philosopher Hans Reichenbach. Karl Popper argued that science doesn't just start with observations. It begins with ideas or hypotheses about how the world works. These ideas guide the experiments we do. The belief in regularities in nature is a presupposition of every scientific inquiry, he explained. Michael Polanyi pointed out that scientists also trust their senses and their ability to reason. They have faith, if you will, that their observations reflect reality. Thomas Kuhn, another famous philosopher, showed that scientific progress isn't always a smooth, steady climb. Sometimes there are big shifts in how scientists think, called paradigm shifts. These shifts involve changing the underlying assumptions that guide research. To reject one paradigm without substituting another is to reject science itself, Kuhn argued. Alfred North Whitehead pointed out that science relies on some pretty big assumptions, like the idea that logic and mathematics actually apply to the real world. Imre Lakatos argued that scientific research programs are built on a hard core of non-negotiable assumptions. Herman D. Weir claimed that a scientist's worldview, their overall beliefs about the world, can influence their scientific work. The philosopher David Hume challenged this idea that science is purely based on observation. He argued that all knowledge comes from our senses. But if we take this idea too literally, it can create problems for science. Hume questioned whether we can truly be sure that the future will always be like the past. This is a problem because scientists rely on the idea that the laws of nature are consistent. He also questioned whether we can truly observe cause and effect. These underlying beliefs are not weaknesses, but rather the foundation upon which science is built. They allow us to make sense of the world and pursue knowledge. Scientific revolutions, like Einstein's theory of relativity, show us how these fundamental assumptions can change dramatically. Science is a fascinating paradox. It's the pursuit of knowledge through observation and experimentation, yet it relies on these foundational beliefs, these unseen truths that we may not be able to fully prove.